Hello, let us quickly see Philippians 2:6. Here is the original Greek text. Here is the New King James. It says, who being in the form of God, that's all good, did not consider, that's all good. Then it says robbery, and the word for that is arpagmon, which means to grab. In other cases, it applies, it means robbery, to grab, to snatch, but it doesn't apply in here at all. That's not the case in here at all. There is no robbery in here. It makes no sense to speak of a robbery. What is Paul trying to see? Christ robbing the equality? It's not that. What it is that it means to grab the chance of personal benefit. So obviously the language written in here is very compact and has included has formed the sentence like this, including only the word arpagmon, without extending the full meaning. So the meaning is grabbing the chance, a chance of personal benefit. This really makes sense, and is combined with the contrast that follows, which says Christ emptied himself. So instead of being a distant God looking his own benefit, his own comfort, instead of grabbing the fact that he is equal to God as a chance for comfort, he didn't do that. Instead, he emptied himself. So that's the meaning of the word, and that's not a good translation in there. Obviously, we don't blame New King James. Some verses are very difficult because they have very local meaning, in the sense that you cannot translate it word for word. The source of what I'm saying is not my mind, of course, is from the New Testament of Nikolaos Sotiropoulos, a Greek Orthodox philologist and theologian, a very, very good scholar. So that's the source of what I'm saying in here. And not only him, but many Greek natives support these scholars. Then the New King James says to be. Again, that's not very accurate, because in the original text we have the definite article this in here, and the definite article has been totally omitted. So if the definite article had been respected, we would have the being equal to God, So the being equal to and to be equal to is not quite the same, I'm afraid. Is not the meaning of King James. To be equal is not in the text. In the text is the being equal to, the being equal with God. Again, we don't blame King James. We just mentioning what's the accurate. So the definite article would give us the sense that we are talking about a fact, about a situation that exists. It says the being. He didn't consider the fact that he is equal to God. He didn't consider that as a chance for personal benefit, but instead he emptied himself, etc., etc. So that's, with this verse, very quickly I would say, for this being in the form of God, a lot of philosophy, a lot of man-made contribution in here. There is no need for that. The Bible is very clear. God became flesh, John 1, end of story. So you see a man, Jesus Christ, with your eyes, and because he is God in his nature, in here says that he who you see as a man is in the form of God, has the nature of God. If that wasn't the case, it wouldn't say being in the form of God. We don't say for Peter, for John, for anyone being in the form of God. We don't say these things, this thing for any human, for any angel. We say it for the human Jesus Christ being in the form of God, because is the God that took flesh. So very quickly, that's all about the form, nothing complicated. Don't make things complicated. Read John 1, God took flesh, end of story. Then in the end we have the watchtower. It's a fraud, it's a scam, I would say. It says, who, although this not doesn't exist in there, he was existing. No reason to make it like this. Who being os and morphi theou υπάρχον. It says υπάρχον. Being, just that. Don't make it although he was existing to push your lies. In God's form. Again, I don't like this kind of rendering in God's form, as if borrowed some. Anyway, I would prefer leaving it as it is, who being in the form of God. Or to be more accurate on what I want to say, in the original text it says os en morphi theou. It doesn't bear the meaning that separating God from Jesus. It doesn't bear this meaning. Instead, describes the word God as it is written in the Greek text. It just describes the nature, the form, the essence of Christ. Is not as if Watchtower tries to push it, as if there is God separate and Christ took his form. There is no such thing. In the original text, I'm speaking with the confidence of natively speaking the language. It says os en morphi theou. The word theou, God, it doesn't specify a person, doesn't refer to a person in here. Instead, describes the nature. If it was to refer to a person, probably would have a definite article in there. Would be something like os en ti morphi tu theou, something similar to theou. But anyway, that's not the word God doesn't identify a person in here. Instead, identifies the nature, the essence of the person we are talking about, Jesus Christ. Then it says, did not even. the word even doesn't exist, did not even consider the idea, the word idea doesn't exist, trying, the word trying doesn't exist, the whole meaning did not consider to be equal does not exist. It says did not consider the being. Wait a second. Did not consider the being, that which already is not the same as did not consider to be. As a wish, I want to be, I consider to be a teacher, an athlete or something. The meaning has been totally corrupted. The definite article has not been transferred into the English in the Watchtower also, and the whole formulation is a scam, is a fraud. It said did not even consider the idea of trying. How does that apply? How does that make any contrast with what it follows? But emptied himself, etc., etc. It's not in the text. It's not the text. It's not what we should trust. Is what the text says, not what I say or anybody else says. The text says he didn't consider it as a chance for personal benefit. The being, the fact that he is equal with God, that's in the text. That's in the text. You can be confident because it is in the text. So that's all with this verse. Thank you.